You have achieved more in your lifetime than most people achieve in 10 lifetimes.
You've done a lot in your life, but you're still looking for more. What's missing?
It really actually has usually landed in the relationship category. I do everything fast, not just driving, like thinking, moving. I'm starting to lose my own personality for fear of being judged or criticized. I basically self-identified that I'm finding my dad over and over again.
Most men have no idea how to give you what you are asking for because we have no idea how to build it. We were never taught.
I love to be analyzed. Tell me all the things.
Danica Patrick, welcome to the show. Welcome back to I Wish You Knew. I'm your host, Adam Lane Smith, and with me is my good friend Andrey, Korikov, my co-host. Today, we have an incredible guest, Danica Patrick. You know this name, right? She's big in racing. She's an entrepreneur. She's a speaker. She does actually pretty much everything. I was looking like, is there anything you haven't done and achieved yet? You have achieved more in your lifetime than most people achieve in 10 lifetimes. I am so excited for this conversation here today, and I can't wait to dig in. Danica, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited. As I told you when I walked in, I think that you are the very best at teaching and explaining relationship dynamics from so many different perspectives that really helps people get it and understand. So I am more excited.
Well, it'll be a competition. We'll find out by the end who wins. I see it and I feel it.
I'm also pretty excited. So Danica, you've done a lot. You've done a lot in your life, but you're still looking for more. What's missing?
Oh, there we go. Let's land the ship there.
We start light.
I
We
love
start
that.
light on the show.
I love that. What's missing? I mean, I think it really actually has usually landed in the relationship category. I mean, I feel like I've said to many people, I'm like, everybody's got something in their life, and I can't complain about pretty much anything in my life, but figuring out relationships has always been fairly hard for me, which is why I'm so excited about this because of your breadth of knowledge. I have a unique position within relationships when we're talking about the masculine, feminine dynamics, and also just a wild life. Like I just said, it's a very different life. I mean, all the way down to something simple like finding someone that has a 9-to-5 would just never work with my life, right? But I need someone young and adventurous, but yet but then they need to be successful enough to sort of withstand the pressures and the challenge that they have within my success. And so it's always been a little challenging.
Mature, experienced, but fun, young at heart.
Yeah.
And the list goes on, right?
Yeah, let's just make that list.
I'm
make
curious.
That difficult list.
You mentioned that relationships were always hard. And did that start back when you were a kid? Were they hard back then too? Or was there a point where you just kind of realized that it just doesn't quite make sense what you think people need versus what other people want?
I mean, the only part that felt like it was predictable or going fine was I did get married, but pretty young. So I got married at 23.
Wow, that is
to someone 17 years older.
Wow.
So that was, so I say that because that's unique in and of itself.
for sure.
And so, but we were married for 7 years, and that all just seemed like it was flowing. But I would say before that wasn't so easy, and after that hasn't always been so easy. So, but there was a point that it felt like, oh, there we go. This is what people do. But that obviously went away, so that didn't last forever either.
Was the marriage, and not to badmouth anybody, was the marriage not fulfilling to you? Did it not feel like it was supposed to? Was it something that went wrong? What was it that went sideways in that relationship?
I kind of felt like I couldn't be myself. Like I always felt like I was like having to double check myself, and I felt like it was always like, what's the next thing I need to do better at? There was kind of never enough. And but mostly I just forgot what it felt like to answer like myself. I was starting to lose my own personality for fear of being judged or criticized. So yeah.
Did you go into it with that? Did that get worse during that relationship? Did the other person drive you into that area? What was it?
Became more, I guess it got worse or became more apparent. I don't know if I'll know the difference, but because we get into relationships and things seem fine, and then things emerge as problems or become bigger, or people change. And I think one of the things that I would say about myself within relationships that I feel like I've had to forgive myself for on some level is that forgive myself for growing, because I'm always somebody that wants to grow and evolve. And, I'd say that even happened later on with a relationship that was 5 years long, was that, it was great at first. And then, I became far more interested in some different sort of ways of living and ways of thinking. I became much more spiritual and curious about big questions in life, and wasn't just so much on autopilot, and so that kind of took me away from someone who didn't really think like that. So I've had to kind of accept that I'm going to always grow and evolve, and it took me until I was done with my racing career to learn this, but I do everything fast. So not just driving, like thinking, moving. If I get into something, I dive super deep into it. So that always lands in growth, right? And that's something very important to me, is to grow and evolve. So that means that if someone's not ready to do that with me, and also then maybe if someone, I don't think it's always if they can't keep up, because I have a lot of patience for effort. But it might end up making it too hard at some point in time if they're not sort of on the same page that you are. So I think that's something also within relationships that has happened to me too.
There's a term in relationships that's not popular anymore, but it should be brought back. Loyalty. Right? Loyalty through transformation. Mm-hmm. Loyalty through transformation doesn't just mean, hey, I'm going to stick with you when you're changing jobs. It doesn't mean I'm going to stick with you when we're having kids. But it is this loyalty of having the faith to believe that the person is changing for the better. You're never really undermining your partner in your own mind by saying, there's something wrong with you and I don't trust you. I don't trust this new evolution. You're going to make a mistake, right? It is that critical inner parent that is triggered in you whenever somebody gives you that. And it's not even visible. Like, it's not even vocal in many senses. It's the way they hold themselves. It's the way they talk. It's their tone of voice. It's just kind of the pauses they give you that can get you that feeling of like you're just back to where you started.
Yeah. This
pattern repeats itself over and over and over again. Eventually, you just want to break out because you've been here. But it just feels like it's the same play, but with different actors. Did that feeling ever come up? Are you
saying those are like attachment patterns resurfacing within relationships?
Correct, right. So,
yeah,
Adam,
very, right up your alley.
Let's go. Let's go. I knew we'd find it. I
want you to. I'm very curious. Are you going to be able to tell me what my attachment style is within this conversation?
Oh, if I don't,
I think I know what it is.
I'm taking a back seat on this one.
But I would much rather have you analyze me. I love to be analyzed. I love psychics. I love coaches. I love people who, I say psychics just because some people get scared. Like, what are they going to tell me? I'm like, tell me all the things. So I like therapists. I love for people to tell me what it is that I need to work on and showing me, because I think one of the paradoxes within this reality of being human is that we can't see ourselves. And that we only see ourselves in relationship or as a mirror to other people. So, if you do something that triggers me, it's not really you, it's showing me something about me. And so we're only seeing it in this sort of back and forth interaction. So I love it when it comes even more bluntly and simply, when you can just go and be like, Danica, da-da-da-da-da.
If that's what you want, I can do that.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is not alcohol in here, but it might need to be.
Yeah, as we go. Tell me a little bit more about your more current relationships. What kind of men are you finding? Are you finding men who can't talk about their emotions? Are you talking about men who talk about their emotions too much? Mm-hmm. Are you finding men who want to run and please you? Are you trying to find men who are competitive against you? What kind of man do you typically find?
I guess I usually find men that are sometimes not as emotionally available, or don't talk as much about them. Don't share. Someone that maybe can be a little hard on me too. Okay. And I've basically self-identified that I'm finding my dad over and over again.
I was just getting ready to ask.
Yeah.
Do you like them?
From a positive standpoint, I think I'm very attracted to men that are intelligent. Okay. Intelligent and adventurous, athletic.
Okay. Intellectual types?
Intellectual types, for sure.
Do you look for them to intellectualize during the first couple of dates?
You mean about the two of us together, or just about anything?
About life.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Do you find that they tend to intellectualize everything in the relationship after that and they never have an emotional experience ever again? They can't really tell you what they're feeling. They'll tell you what they're thinking.
I don't know.
Okay. You said they're a little bit more emotionally closed off.
Sometimes, yeah. Like I want to, like I've had relationships where I want to draw it out of them. Like, what are you thinking? What are you talking? What's
Yes.
going on? Like,
Okay.
talk to me.
Okay. When you ask them, what do they do?
I've definitely been stonewalled before, for sure.
Are they harsh about it? Do they shut you down, or are they mostly confused, like they don't know what you want?
I think there's definitely a perception that nothing's ever enough.
Ooh.
Which is so common, right? Isn't it? The men always feel like they're never enough and women always feel like they're too much. Isn't that the common dynamic within men and women?
It can be. It definitely can be.
Yeah, it's like, what can I do? I'm here. That's a lot, right? I'm here. Isn't that like I'm here?
I'm here, and that should be enough for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So their physical presence. Let me ask you very bluntly, the money thing, right? You are a pop icon. Like there's very little a man can do to compete with you at this point. And there's certain men financially, if that was a balancing point for you guys, you'd have to aim for not even the top 1%, but probably above that. What is that doing in your relationships? How are the men handling that?
Yeah, that's a very tricky one. I've dated a couple of people that have more money than me, and most that don't. And that runs the gamut for sure and the range. But, they always sort of say it's not a big deal, but it usually ends up coming through as a big deal at some point in time, or maybe like challenges the power dynamic in some way. And also I would say that because of that, a lot of times that means I'm making decisions. So I'm making the call, like I'm the one that's booking the yacht because I'm paying for it, right? Like it's not them, or I used a pretty grand example, but it's not that hasn't happened, and so I would say that then puts me. It's very easy for me to get into a very masculine decision making, blunt, short, sort of like mood, and I know how to be in my work. My work mode is not the most like pleasant. It's very efficient and direct, but that in a relationship dynamic, I think where a man is looking for something sort of softer and more warm and friendly and understanding and kind and sweet. It's like that isn't necessarily what it is. But there I am in the dynamic of making a lot of decisions because it's a lot of times up to me because I'm the one maybe paying for it. Or booking it or something like that. So I do think that, I've noticed over time, I do think that takes me out of my feminine. Every time that I have to go be the decision maker and make the calls instead of like, hey, where do you want to go to dinner? I don't know. It's like, you just do it. Just pick it. I don't care. Like, it just let me not think about things. And I know that definitely makes me more relaxed, but that's not always the dynamic that exists based on circumstances.
I was getting ready to ask, are you going into a masculine mode because they push you into that because they refuse? Are you going into it because you want it? Or are you going into it because you're just used to doing it and they just sort of sit there complacent and let you? Because those are three different dynamics.
Right. I think it's there's definitely an overwhelming, it's easy for me.
Sure.
It's very easy for me. I'm extremely decisive.
But do you like it?
Do I like it? I like feeling sweet and lovey with someone more.
Okay.
But
So you'd rather stay in the feminine.
Yeah.
But it's just natural to go into the masculine.
Yeah,
and
it's easy. So
And it's easy. So you can let people put that on you and make you.
yeah, very easily.
Are the guys basically in a relationship? We say, right, the man is supposed to be leading, and that doesn't mean domineering over you. That means that he's supposed to be setting the tone. He's supposed to be telling you what you should be expecting. And a lot of women just sort of settle to where the man is comfortable. It sounds like he's putting the bar way down here, and you're used to settling way down here, masculine wise.
Probably.
Is that tracking?
I'd say on some level.
And they just let it happen because it's easy, right?
And it's easier for them too, right?
Who complains?
Make less decisions.
Right. Who complains when the woman does everything for you and you just get to sit back and feel like a king?
And on top of that, I have the dynamic about me that is probably the most feminine is that I love taking care of someone. Like I love cooking for them or giving them a massage or like, bringing them something. I like taking care of them or booking something fun or planning something, making them feel special, getting them a present or a gift. Like I love making them feel like very seen and loved.
Okay.
And taken care of.
You have a dynamic that you told me about earlier. That I want
Please
to
don't
dive
tell me
into.
I'm disorganized, okay? Just
Well,
don't tell me I'm
We'll
disorganized.
figure it out. We'll figure it out. And there's two types.
seems like
There's
the
two types.
scariest.
There's two types of disorganized too. So we got to talk about that.
Why do you think it's the scariest? I'm curious.
Oh, it's like I have probably a split personality almost.
So no, actually, this is something that we're actually discovering.
I don't know if I am, but that was my joke right now.
Well,
It's like,
even if
figure it
you
out.
were, right? So we're actually discovering that the most active, proactive, and the most likely to change are the loud disorganized, because you're actually seeing both sides of the relationship. You experience the fullness of the insecure attachment that drives you to change. And that desire for change means you have not given up. And you
Yeah.
have not given up on trying to find something.
oh, it's almost a fault of mine. I almost don't know when to quit.
There you go. And that's a great thing, because it means you still hope for something. So what is it that you hope for?
Well, I hope for a deep friendship as well as a passionate partner and someone to have fun and laugh with and go on adventures with and grow with
A home.
and build a life with.
Yeah, a home.
Exactly, home. I love home like the most of all things is like I love the monotony of relationship, grocery shopping, cooking dinner, going to bed together. I love that part.
Yeah, that's the part that men don't understand. To us, that just seems like waste of time. We don't understand the value of that to a woman. We
really?
just say,
Speak to yourself, my friend.
Really?
I
you like
love
grocery shopping?
how hard is it to drag me away from my family to go on trips?
It is hard, but I've never said, hey, I never heard you say, hey, Andrey, I had a great time grocery shopping. Not once. So
Really?
not once have you told me
One
that.
of my favorite dates for me and my wife is actually going grocery shopping together because you just get to slow pace, walk around, pull things off the shelf, laugh at different brands. It's actually one of my favorite dates with her. And it's
Think
hers.
about meals you're going to have together, buy special things that you're like,
Absolutely.
let's get caviar, honey.
100%. That so yes, no, it is. But to that point, you have to be, and a man has to be in a very specific state to be able to immerse in that. And I'm wondering if you're picking men who are avoidantly attached. They come in and they tell you it won't be a problem, and they're trying to provide the first two levels of safety that men are supposed to provide. They're completely failing on point number 2, which is resource safety. And they're misunderstanding it. They think they have to pay your bills and have more money than you. And a lot of avoidant men fail at that because they think I need to make more money than you to make you feel safe. And that's not the case in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
You don't need level 2 safety. They can provide level 1 physical safety.
Right.
Right? Okay, yes, if a tiger breaks through a window, I will physically protect you. Fantastic, right? Maybe you could outpunch the guy. I don't know. Maybe you could.
I was going to say, I have some doubts on that.
Yeah, you
too.
could probably wrestle. I have faith. I have faith in you, right?
So my workouts trigger guys I date too.
Right.
So,
I'll give the tiger
God.
50-50. But at the second point, resource safety isn't I make more money than you and pay your bills. Resource safety is supposed to be if something goes wrong, you sit back.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
Right? That's the I got this
figure it out.
mentality. Exactly. And that's where these men are signaling to you actually that you have to go get it. You have to schedule everything. You have to handle everything. A crisis comes up. You handle it. You take care of it. They're failing at level 2, and that's eroding the protection. They're also not probably providing level 3 emotional safety to you at all because you're not able to bring your emotions at all. They're shutting that down, or they're, like I said, they're intellectualizing. So they're stepping back when you try to have an emotional experience with them. They're like, whoa, what are you doing? Why are we doing this?
And I think too, one of those with that emotional or that conversation piece, and I think this is maybe another area where I can be a little masculine maybe, is I feel like I'm a pretty rational person. So for me, it's like, let's talk about it, let's say it, and then what are we gonna do? Like, none of this matters unless we figure out what we're going to do about it. Yeah. And so, I think sometimes that can be a little bit of a problem too, instead of maybe I need to listen more at times too. And maybe I'm not hearing at times.
Okay.
Maybe the problem is also that it's not just talking you want to do. There's also some feeling aspect.
Yeah.
So if you're going into my left brain and my logical brain, and we're playing 80% of the time there, I think we're good. I think we're having a great time. And it turns out that there's oftentimes a secret need that you want this and an emotional connection.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how to switch states. And you're waiting for it. It's like a step that never comes, almost like that, like midpoint in a song, it's supposed to change.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. Isn't that irritating?
I'm super distracted by this other thought that I was having about like another piece of information about me. Because I'm thinking about this dynamic of being in a discussion or an argument or situation. And I absolutely, the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, I absolutely find myself in freeze moments.
I was just getting ready to ask this.
Absolutely
Okay,
freeze.
here we go.
If there's like a situation that is like it's like, what do you think I'm thinking right now? What do I need? Or like something like that. And I'm like, I immediately freeze because I'm so afraid to say the wrong thing that I'm stuck. I don't even know what to do, but the only safe answer is nothing. Because what if I say the wrong thing and then I trigger it even more? And then it's like, I get very difficult sometimes in a contentious situation where I feel like I might be wrong. I'd freeze completely.
I think I have it figured out where you're at right now.
Oh my God.
Are you ready? Yeah. I'm going to lay it out for you, and then we're going to slowly unpack it.
Okay, great.
Don't be scared.
Mm-hmm.
There's two types of disorganized. Okay, the one that you're afraid of, not you.
Okay.
Okay, there's loud disorganized, which is very chaotic, very disrupted. They're heavily addicted to oxytocin. They chase it. It's mingled with dopamine. That's a whole other thing we're going to talk about in a moment. That's not you. You're not the wild, chaotic out there. You're actually very different. There's something that, as I've updated the field of attachment theory, we've turned it into attachment science now with our institute. Disorganized had to split into because there's people with a freeze response. They downregulate into avoidant tendencies more, and they just take on what everybody else gives them. They don't fuss. They're high performing. Some of the highest performing women, especially on the planet, quiet, disorganized attachment style. Quiet, disorganized, low expectations. They try to fill gaps, right? Heavily masculine focus. Usually they look masculine in the workplace. They can achieve incredible things, but they get into relationships with men who are all flash and no substance, typically. And then she just makes up for everything. She walks in and says, I will take care of everything you don't want to do. Anything you don't want to do, I will do everything for you. And he starts off being babied and ends up resentful and blaming you that he doesn't feel like a man. Okay, that's point number one. There's 3 points we got to get through. Is that matching so far?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a second piece, right? And you've mentioned it a couple of times. Dopamine focus, adventure, growth, being distracted a little bit. There's a subgroup of people with a different type of brain that is less sensitive to dopamine. And they need dopamine. They need adventure. They need growth. They need exploration in their life. Sometimes there's aspects of ADHD in there, different type of brain, right? We classify that as a bad thing. It's actually incredibly good for entrepreneurship. It's really good. You want your adventurers to have that. You want your explorers to have that. The leading edge people. It's a leadership trait if you harness it, and you have, which is great. But in your romantic life, it's going sideways on you. That's something we have to grow into. There's 2 types of men that will match well with that. Well, 2 types of men that will match. One is the bad type. They are heavily avoidant, and they love the dopamine fixation because it allows them to chase the dopamine without ever bonding with you biochemically. You are looking for a biochemical bond with the dopamine. That's a different type of adventurous man. You're accidentally attracting the adventurous man who has low expectations and wants you to have low expectations too, and then you just chase the fun. We need to teach you how to attract the right adventurous type of man who wants bonding, loyalty, like you had said, biochemical loyalty together mixed in. So that's point number 2, okay?
Yep.
We got to preserve that. We're not going to chase it out of you. We have to build into it, but that's a specific type of man.
Okay.
And point number 3 is your level of success, the finances that you've built, right? Everything that you've accrued, everything you've worked so hard for, that will be intimidating to the wrong type of adventurous man. It will also be intimidating to not all men, right? What you're going to need is something we call the mature masculine man who understands all 4 levels of safety he must be providing you, including the emotional safety, the bonding safety. There are so many layers that these men don't understand a man is supposed to be building for you. And you're sensing it. Most women sense where it's off, but they can't articulate it yet. You are, okay, guy, you've given me level 1 physical safety. That's all I ask for. Everything else is my problem. Right? Resource safety, he's got to say, I've got this. You go ahead and sit back. I'm going to take charge. You can make 10 times more in a day than he makes in a year, but he can out-masculine you because he's got that attitude of, I will take care of you. No matter what's going to happen, whatever comes through that door, I've got it. Emotionally, I'm safe from my emotions, and you're safe from me exploding because I'm disciplined, and you're safe to bring your emotions to me. I'll respond to you. I'm here. And then bonding safety. I will always be with you. I'm not about to erode. If there's a problem, right? He doesn't do what you said. He doesn't come and say, well, what do you think I want? He comes and says, hey, I'm going to make this so easy for you. I saw you freeze. Let me share you what I'm thinking here on this side. I'm going to lay everything on the table. What do you also need from me? How do I take care of you? Those deep level conversations. He should be leading the relationship from a sensitive area. He should be leading you in those aspects. Those are the 3 areas that I see are falling short, and your brain is gravitating toward men with low expectations, who are avoidant, who just want fun and don't understand the masculine-feminine dynamic at all. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
That's what we got to fix. We got to fix who you're attracted to and how you filter, and then those men will find you. And you only have to get it right once.
Right, exactly.
This is easy from my perspective.
Yeah, I love that's so cool to be able to pattern recognize so well. Well, it's such a gift.
Thank you. That's the foundations. We build these protocols. We deploy these protocols. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's science. We have to make it work. So
There's a component to all this. So the real transformation when it comes to attachment comes from only two things. And that's what we call a skills and experiences model. And the skills is that you need to have the skills to build the experiences. And unfortunately, until those experiences come, your brain will not change.
Mm-hmm.
And without those experiences, the skills won't feel right. You'll be dragged back into the pattern. The pattern is actually an underlying algorithm that has been coded into you before you were 3.
Yeah.
Right? You do not have any access to that memory whatsoever, but it has been coded in you so deep that what it does is that it manifests in various patterns. They have their triggers, they have their body states, they have their emotional states. You'll see your body change. You will find the diaphragm tighten, right? You will sense like this part of your face get just kind of rock solid, right? You'll even feel it behind your ears when the neck gets tight. And it feels like danger because it is danger for you. Not danger right now, but your brain doesn't know when it exists. It can't tell a difference between the past, the present, or the future. That's the beauty of human nature, right? We exist in all three across the board forever, right? Your today and tomorrow are the same thing as your yesterday. And when you can recognize those patterns, you can build the specific skills to disrupt them. But let me ask you this. So can you walk me through what a typical first date looks like for you?
and I'm really curious because it could look like a lot of things.
It's
Probably
a lot. They
of
cover. I'm trying to think of. They cover a pretty wide range. I guess the most common would be. Most common would be go to dinner. I mean, that is the most common.
Well, what happens?
Where, I mean, I usually don't pick. I don't want to.
It's a good start.
And I don't buy. I don't want to do that either. And
that's funny because you eventually will do both of those things for the entire rest of the relationship.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And then it's just, it depends on the conversation. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes usually they're pretty great. I mean,
What do you talk about?
I'm pretty good at holding court and asking questions and being curious. I'm a generally very curious person. So, when I get done, I can definitely tell I'm like, wow, they barely asked me anything. Sometimes that happens. Other times they go deeper, and sometimes it's everything from very vulnerable emotional shares to talking about, aliens, or whatever.
As one should.
Yeah. Various different wild topics. But yeah, usually it's a good enough conversation, and not a total disaster. And I would say that's because I can carry them all.
Okay. And what does a good date feel like in your body, in your mind?
I mean, a good date I feel like you can feel chemistry right away. I mean, I know within the first date, if you're like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to see this person again. Like I definitely, or if it's just not there. I don't want you to tell me that chemistry is a bad sign.
No. What type of chemistry? Because there's 3 types.
Oh, okay.
Most people only know one, and they assume that's all chemistry. What are you thinking?
Well, I would say there's probably like an intellectual chemistry, like some level of compatibility, or meeting each other on a level intellectually. And then I'd say the most common one, though, that I'm looking to feel is that I'm attracted to them. And I don't think the attraction is always just looks. The attraction is sort of the energy that I'm feeling with this person. And some people just aren't that flirty and aren't that forward with their flirtatious nature. And so if they're not, then that feels pretty flat. Somebody should be like giving me eyes, or like kind of, I mean, that's a pretty powerful thing.
Okay. We're talking about primal chemistry level 1 is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
With the intellectual piece, you said you're attracted to intellectual men, that they over-intellectualize later, but at front you need to see some intellect. Right. He's not chewing on the centerpiece.
Right. That's kind of the conversation piece. Did they talk to me? Did they ask me questions where there was a good back and forth? Did they pose good questions?
Yep.
That's the intellectual piece that I can always tell, like, oh, wow, they barely asked me anything, or that was fun.
Okay. You said something at the end right before you said, yeah, it's a good conversation because I can carry it. And it sounds like you're used to carrying everything for everybody. This is what I'm hearing.
I do too much. That's a
one
very, very common theme.
You overperform. Yeah, we're going to have to change that around. Doesn't mean underperforming, right? There's a comfortable middle ground where you invite them to perform, actually. Do you know what you're allowed to ask a man to do for you? Do you know even what a man should be doing for you in a relationship?
No.
Okay, there's a problem. We got to define that. Do you know what a good, healthy, mature man is going to want from you?
No.
Okay, there's a problem too, right? You're an entrepreneur. You've done sales.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're offering and you don't know what your prospects want, how is that sale going to go?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you buy or sell anything?
Correct. You're standing on the street corner yelling at people hoping that they listen to you and that they are a good match.
Yeah.
There's the problem. We have to define your needs and desires. We have to convince you that it's okay for you to have needs and desires because it sounds like that's a challenge. Am I right? There we go. And then we have to show you what a good man is going to want from you. Actually, the healthiest men are going to want you to know your needs and be fairly upfront with them, not in an aggressive, female boss babe kind of way. That's never going to be you, by the way. But in a way that is, this is what I need. Are you open for that? Right? In the conversations, he's going to look for that. And if you don't offer that, he's actually going to get up and walk away. Those are being the guys that seem boring. They're going to they don't just check out, but they don't really call back.
Yeah.
They're going to have lower flash at the first date. Still pretty good primal chemistry, but lower flash. And they just won't call back for a second date. Are you thinking of some guys maybe you've met like that?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
No, I'm just listening right now.
Interesting. Okay.
Thinking.
Level 2 chemistry is going to be personal chemistry. We're going to have to really figure out how to help you look for that. Personal chemistry, you said hobbies and interests are a big heavy weight for you.
Yeah.
Right. And part of that is probably the dopamine focus in your brain. You're probably lower sensitivity to it. I would imagine a race car driver probably has lower dopamine sensitivity. That's how you get into heavy speed. Do you drive a nice car in your personal life?
Exactly.
Do you like to drive a little fast?
Yeah, exactly.
You do everything fast. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to need to build that out. Hobbies and interests usually maybe are 15% of actual compatibility in the personal category. Right. Most people weigh them at 80 to 90% interest and importance. For you, they probably will be about 30 to 40%. We still have 60%, though, that's going to be heavily weighted toward long-term life goals, values, personal growth. Yeah. Right? Personal growth is going to be a big one. Beliefs, all of that. Not only having them, but being able to adapt as you both change and grow. That's going to be personal chemistry. There's ways you're going to have to figure that out. And then the third chemistry aspect is attachment chemistry. You knew it was coming. You're talking to me. Are they capable of having the conversations with you that you're wanting to have? 5 years from now, what kind of man will he be, or a husband will he be? What partner will he be when you're there, when you're sick, when you're scared, when you make so much more money than him that he has a moment of embarrassment? How does he have that conversation with you? How does he come to you and say, you know what, I'm feeling a little off because like you just bought me a gift that I could never buy for you, right? How do I take care of that? What do we do? He needs to actually talk with you about that. And that's the level 3 chemistry that has to be built through the first 3 dates. I have a 3-date method that I teach. You're going to have to specifically build through that so that you know by the 3rd date if this man is a good match for the next 5 years.
Wow.
Make sense?
Sure. I mean, that's a lot to get through in 3 dates, though.
It is, but in a sales call, right?
Yeah.
You can get through a prospecting in 5 minutes and know if you're a good match or not. Same thing. It's just a skill that you've had to learn. This is a skill you never learned growing up. That's it.
That's
Before
true.
you guys get into the 3-date method, I'm very curious to know, do you have any topics that are off the table for discussion on that first date?
Oh, no.
That
So you'll talk about anything.
No, I'm a really open person.
And are there any questions you'd never ask them?
Ooh.
Would you ask them about marriage? Would you ask them about...
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would stay away from the sort of like running all the way down the pier on date number 1. If I was attracted, I'd be like, do you want to get married? Do you want kids? Do you like, where do you see, are you looking for something serious? You know, it'd be like, can't we just like have fun for a little while and see how it goes? And then we can get to those questions.
And on what date?
It seems, on what date is
does that
appropriate?
coming in?
Well, that's a great question.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I guess maybe there's too much of an assumption that if it's going well and moving forward, that's what they're thinking all the things I'm thinking anyway.
There's
Bad assumption.
It's a bad assumption. There's a particular framework that I want to start, gearing you guys towards, because this is probably the most interesting thing we've figured out with Adam over the last number of years. There's 2 parts to a relationship in the way that you see it in your mind. you have the attraction component. That's what you're looking for, right? You're looking at the dopamine, you're looking at the oxytocin. You will have that primal chemistry. Dopamine, oxytocin. If you blend those together, man, that is fun. And it is wonderful. It is absolutely inebriating. And it is just something you crave more and more and more of. And that's one section. On the other section, you actually have commitment. So that's 2 more chemicals. Serotonin, which is purpose, future. And vasopressin, which is the loyalty, which is I will pick you above all else, even if there's a better model. Even if there is a Danica 2.0, I will still stay with Danica 1.0 because that is my Danica and everybody else is irrelevant. That's a very different bonding. And most people nowadays, that is blocked for various different reasons. That's not even the full equation yet. You have these 2 components struggling against each other if you're not doing it right, because there's one thing that divides them, which is a cortisol. Cortisol, which is stress. Are you stressed on
No,
dates?
I'm not a very
No?
stressful person.
Great. So you have 0 stress in the very beginning, very low stress. You have high attraction. And then you go into your relationship, let's say everything goes well, and then the stress starts coming, right? It starts coming because you're not getting that second part. Something's missing. Something is wrong. It's not here. I'm not sure that if there was a Danica 2.0, you wouldn't leave me. Right? I'm not sure that if I did get sick or if I got broke or I got sued or any of these other horrible things, or I got old, right? Or if I got into an accident, you'd see me the same way. You wouldn't take me for a pet. You wouldn't take me for a charity case. And you wouldn't take me for your bank account, right? And those fears start forming because that other component is entirely blocked. And over time...
Mine or theirs? Their vasopressin
probably both.
or mine?
You need both.
Both.
Both people need to be open to build those. You cannot build that in isolation because what are you bonding to, right? And then over time, you have this attraction. You're supposed to have the commitment, and there's together managing the cortisol. It's like a C scale, a C-do. But what happens? Cortisol spikes. Eventually, the dopamine falls off, and what do you have? Just disappointment, over and over and over again. And that's in essence neurochemically. You go towards this cycle where the bucket empties, and then eventually you find another bucket. You catch up on your dopamine and your oxytocin, and then the scale tips again, over and over and over again. The same patterns repeat.
You make life too easy for men.
That's the simple answer.
This is a trap that a lot of successful women get into, and with Quite Disorganized, is they are used to performing. I perform. You tell me what to do, I do it. That will make you happy, and it won't actually make them happy. Healthier men don't want you performing. They actually want to solve problems with you. You solve problems for them, and then you get more and more exhausted as you solve problems, and they don't step in. Maybe they think you don't want them to, but maybe they just take you for granted. Either way, you're not building vasopressin. You're not building the monogamous bond that should fulfill you.
I've watched videos on how to do this, but I can't remember all the ways.
Yeah.
But I'd love to be reminded again how to build that, and also then the other way too, right? Like it goes both ways. So how does this work?
Here's a simple question. How do you determine commitment compatibility on the first date? How do you know if they are open to vasopressin and oxytocin bonding in a way that can be built for a lifelong commitment?
Do you want to hear the most unromantic answer on the planet that will actually be perfect for your skill set?
Yeah.
You have to approach marriage like a business. You have to approach marriage like a business. You have to filter a potential partner as if you are co-founding a legacy or a company with them, because you are co-founding a legacy.
Yeah.
That's really what it's going to be. Let's get together and have an adventure and see what that turns into. Would you start a business venture that way with somebody?
Yeah, it's a risky way to start a business.
Well, yeah, like we don't have a business idea, but I really like you.
Yeah.
Let's sign a contract that we're going to start a business together and then discuss what that business could be.
Yeah.
And then talk about if we're a good fit and talk about what our skill set is. Does that sound like a recipe to succeed?
Right. No.
But that's what you're doing. And then in fact, what happens is they turn into a terrible co-founder. So you step in and wear both hats, do both jobs. You're the CEO and the COO inside that company. And then he's sitting in the corner sipping a beer while you're running the entire company. And eventually you say, this is exhausting. I can't do this. And eventually he gets scared and upset and says, well, why am I even here? I should be doing something. I should be the boss. You're the boss. You're too big for me. There's the problem. You need to approach the first date like you are interviewing a co-founder for a company. You have an idea what company you want to build. We got to talk about that. What company you want to build. And now you're interviewing a co-founder. there's a trick, and here's the trick. I teach women this in particular. The best arrangement for marriage is actually the CEO and the COO model. The man must operate as the CEO. You must be able to operate as the COO. Your job is not to be on the front lines, constantly making decisions, constantly doing all the work. You should be breathing. You should be running operations. You should be running the inside of the system. You should say, hey, Mr. CEO, I need more in my budget. I need more things. I need more adventure. You plan an adventure for us. His job should be to go build that and find that for you. He needs to be operating that way. You need a mature, healthy, appropriate CEO who brings those skills for you so that when you're the CEO at your company, at your businesses that you're doing, you're the CEO in 15 places. When you come home, you're not the CEO anymore. That is the last thing for your nervous system that you should be doing.
And that's always the same for men and women? Is there ever a role reversal that doesn't, I'm just curious.
No, that's fair. There is a very small variance that I've encountered where there are healthy, mature, fully realized masculine men who can do the COO job better, and the full, mature, healthy women who can do the CEO job better. And it's just a small swap. However, the man still needs to be fulfilling the masculine angle because the female nervous system is just not built for that.
From the safety standpoint, those three safe things.
If the 4 levels, you can do it, but it burns you out faster and eventually leads to either resentment, exhaustion, sometimes medical destruction. A lot of reproductive cancers are built around this, actually. So many issues. Women can, but shouldn't have to. Because you, like you said, you are so fulfilled, caring, nurturing, loving, softness. You can go out and be as hard as you want in the world, but in the home, you should be able to relax. You should be allowed to.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you've ever been allowed to.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot.
Is that resonating?
I definitely do a lot.
Right.
Yeah. And because I can, as I've said, but also just like I'm always thinking like the next thing, like or organizing, planning. It's just, it's, I don't know, it's just the way my mind thinks. And it also, I think from a caretaking standpoint, it feels good to some extent too, right? Like it does. It's not that it doesn't. It's just that at some point in time there comes resentment or frustration, right? It's kind of like, haven't you seen all the freaking things that I've done? Like if I need help this one time and you don't do it, like, God, really? Like, really?
It's the one thing.
Yeah.
So this,
like I have a hard time even asking for help. And that if I do, and then it kind of gets its eyes rolled at or frustrated in some way, it's like,
forget it.
Wow.
Yep.
I almost didn't ask because I hate asking and I do. And then it didn't go well. Like no wonder why I don't ask. I just do it. It's a lot less contentious.
This thing you described, right? This desire to say, just do, go fast, solve, fix. Imagine if that came with a kill switch. You didn't have to always do it, but you did it only when you wanted to. How would that change your life?
Wow, that would be fun. That would be nice.
An
it would be nice.
An engine that's always running.
Because I've definitely thought about this dynamic of being able to sort of go into go mode. And it's like, yeah, I can flip the switch. I mean, I used to do it all the time at the racetrack. It's like flip the switch and go into race mode and, be on like that. And so I can do that, but it does require less to do.
You need a man who takes ownership. You're looking, intuitively, you're looking for a CEO, but on your dating process, you're just walking in, just hiring a guy who talks really good. He's intellectual. You don't know his skill set. You don't know what he wants. You don't know his envisionment for a company. You don't know how he operates as a CEO.
For the company of the relationship.
Correct.
Right?
You need to be asking those questions in the first 3 dates, interviewing him from a fun perspective that's intellectual, that's engaging, it's smiling, it's relaxed. You need a man that when you ask him those questions, he doesn't shut down and get intimidated. He opens up and comes alive. He should be so passionate about building a life and a legacy with you that he's, in general, that he's pumped for this conversation. Because you say something like, what are you building in your life right now? And who are you building it with? See, relationship questions. You interview him about that aspect.
Yeah.
What's he doing? I'm building it completely alone. I never speak to anybody. I've built all my businesses alone. I hate co-founders. This is a bad sign, right?
All right, let's crack the case here. What is the 3-date method?
The 3-date method. You ready for this?
Yeah.
It's going to change the way people think I'm crazy for this. And they say, Adam.
Can I start my 3-date after the's been dates? Can I just
You
pretend like it's the
absolutely
first
can.
date?
If you have to, yes. The best time to do it is in the first 3 dates. The second best time to
course.
do it is right now in the next 3 dates. The worst time to do it is 8 years from now when you email me like most women do and say, Adam, it's 10 years in. And is he going to talk about commitment soon? Right? Like that's the worst time. I get those all the time.
Right.
Every woman at every financial level asks me that, right? Women are just waiting for men to lead. 3-date method. First date, primal chemistry. Second date, personal chemistry. Third date, attachment chemistry. That's the structure. You're going to think I'm crazy. Everyone does. And then they get engaged and they get married happily, usually within a year. Okay?
Wow,
Ready?
okay.
A lot of pressure. Here we go. First date, you walk in, all the primal chemistry, all the conversation you're looking for, but you go a little bit deeper, analyzing his relationship history, not romantic, but just general. How does he interact with humans?
Mm-hmm.
What does he think about humans? Does he solve problems with humans? Does he love to ask you questions? 5 years in, what's going to matter most is the way he asks you questions. Is he curious about you? Does he want to learn about you? Does he problem solve with you? Or does he run away and hide? Okay? He needs to be asking you questions. That is the number one thing that you're being looking for on that first date in the first half. Is he asking you engaged questions? And when you ask him questions about his businesses, his co-founding, how he works, right? Does he think he's a solo team of one? Or does he live in relationships? Is he a relational being? By the end of the first date, you must ask what his views are on children, marriage, family, legacy, whatever you want. You must ask.
Got
and
it.
here's how you do it. Hey, you know what? I just want to make sure we're on the same page, right? I'm looking for a loving, committed partnership for the rest of my life, and especially one with a good masculine man who loves to take the charge, right? I'm going to follow you and back up, but I need to know that you want that too. If you want that, great. Let's talk about that. If you don't, no harm, no foul. I've had a fun time. We'll finish out the date. We'll high five. We'll go our separate ways. What are you looking for, buddy? And you say it with a smile and just like that. If he gets uncomfortable, not the man for you. You don't need 500 boyfriends. You need one masculine husband. Filter harder. Filter your prospects harder, okay? Your target is one. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? Most women shy away from that and say men don't want commitment and he'll run away. Men tell me the same thing. Adam, women don't want commitment. If I bring it up, they'll run away. No, filter carefully. The good men are waiting for you to do that. Is that making sense so far?
Okay.
Any questions on the first date?
It just means you're on the same page, right? Like,
100%.
what's the point if you're not on the same page?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
I tried it. It worked.
See, I got this guy married happily, right? I just got a wedding invitation from another client.
He did?
Yeah, he asked me.
Very nice.
He came in afraid of asking about commitment. Now he's getting married, happier than he's ever been. So this method works. It's what I did with my wife as well. Been married 17 years.
But it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Really,
Well,
it's really uncomfortable.
You need to be sort of just, well, the first step is knowing what you want, right? Because if you know what you want, then it's very clear and you're like, you don't want to put up with anything that's not that anyway. So it's not hard in a way.
Correct.
The reason it's hard is because when you're used to the traditional way, the usual way, it's like muscle memory, right? And you got to break that. It's just not comfortable. It's just not the same amount of fun. It's not the same exciting, well-traveled road. But
It's like you're an
changing.
You're an entrepreneur, right? And other entrepreneurs, you say, hey, buddy, you got to raise your prices. You're charging $10. That should be $10,000. And what do they say? Well, if I do that, I won't have any customers. I'll go out of business, right? I tell women, you got to talk about commitment on the first date. Well, if I do that, no men will date me.
Right.
Same thing. Charge
Then
$10,000.
don't date them.
Correct. Charge $10,000.
Yeah.
Not $10.
Yeah.
You're worth so much more than that, right? So number one, commitment on the first date. Talk about it. And you don't say like, should we get married tomorrow? You say,
Right. It's not a plan for tomorrow.
no. What do you want?
Yeah.
Do we even align? Is there even a reason to go forward? Okay. That tests primal chemistry, but it also begins testing a little bit of personal chemistry. Do we even want the same things? Sets up the second date where you get to come in and say, hey, we talked about commitment last time. You lead with this. We talked about commitment last time. Tell me a little bit more about you. What do you look like in relationships? What do you look like for fun? What is an ideal life for you? I love going grocery shopping with people. You can actually lead with that, right? I love going grocery shopping with a partner.
Yeah.
I love the life. I'm all about this over here, an adventure, but then I want to have a home to come to. We need to have a balance of home and life. So what does that look like for you? And you ask him that, what does that look like for you? And you see what he can describe. Oh, I don't know. Maybe seeing each other once a week is appropriate. That feels comfortable. Nah, no, thank you, sir. Next. Right? He wants a home with you, and he can describe what that looks like, and he can articulate it. Pieces you got to ask there.
Yeah.
Okay, making sense?
What does life look like?
What does life look like?
Number 2, what does life look like?
Compatibility.
Do we
not
even
just,
want the same life? Number 1.
Right.
Number 2, what would that look like?
Right.
Okay.
When we're together, what would we be doing? And when we're apart, what would we be doing? Those are the aspects you're looking for. Compatibility testing at personal chemistry level 2. For you, the interest and hobbies with the dopamine aspect and adventure will be a little bit higher, but vasopressin can be built through adventure as well. We had an adventure together. If you're going on adventures and having solo experiences while you're there, and then at the end of the day you meet up for cocoa, that's not vasopressin bonding.
Right.
That's solo adventures that happen to be having in the same area.
Right.
Making sense?
Yeah,
We shared an adventure and got through it and survived. High five. That's the adventure you need to be building with him. And he needs to want that level of adventure.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Level 2. By the end of that date, you say, this was fun. I had a great experience. I'd love to see you again, and let's see if we're a better fit even the next time. You are continuously coming back to commitment and reminding both of you that you're interviewing. It's not cold. It's not isolated. You're a podcast host. But you do it from this angle.
Like a fun, playful, curious.
100%.
Yeah.
He should be doing the same in return. It shows you that he wants to build that life with you. He is building a co-founding relationship with you now in return. Any questions here so far?
No.
Okay.
I just want to note this. From a male perspective, I cannot underestimate and understate how much fun it is for a guy to have that conversation. I'm assuming you're not going for 20-year-olds, right? So
Not that often.
fair enough.
They pop up.
Well, it is what it is. If you're a guy and you have some life experience, you have had so many of the same experience on the other side, so many of the disappointments, the repeating dates, the circular relationships, the patterns popping in. And when you have somebody who's different, that activates everything. You want to talk about masculine attraction. You go, this is my hunting instinct. This is special. I want that. And you want that. I want that to trigger as soon as possible.
For the guy.
Because,
by asking these questions
because if you're hiding the whole time and I have no idea what you're about, I'm probably going to miss it.
Yeah.
Right? You do want to show that. You do want to lead the chase for a bit.
Does this also limit the games too? Because this feels like something that's just such a wild pain in the ass. In my opinion, dating's a disaster.
Yes.
No one ever there's so much ghosting. There's so much seems super interested and then they're out and it's just it's a disaster.
It limits the games up front to almost zero.
Yeah.
You don't play games and you don't allow them to be played.
Yeah.
You loop everything back to a question. It also limits the games in year 5, 10, 20. Because here's what you're doing. As you're going through this process, you are marketing, not the kind of girlfriend you'll be in the first month. You're marketing the kind of wife you'll be over the next 20 years. You're a wife that when you bring in a problem, you bring it to the table and discuss it. You ask him his thoughts. You share your thoughts. You are right up front with your goals and desires, but you're peaceful about it. You can still be playful and fun as you're having deep conversations.
Yeah.
You are direct and focused. You are advertising the kind of COO that you will be or what kind of wife you would be in a relationship. You're showing him, this is who I am. I'm direct. I'm clear. I know what I want. I'm kind and gentle about it. At the same time, I will ask you very blunt questions. This sets you up, and this is what makes him attracted to you because he only has to get it right once as well. He's not looking for 500 girlfriends. He's looking for one wife. The guys who don't want that level of a deep experience, the ones whose prefrontal cortexes are overdrawn and overbuilt from avoidant, they can't have these emotional conversations with you. They will be stuck. So this is how you filter out those intellectual men. Right? They are overly intellectual because they can't go anywhere else. They are over-intellectualizing by overcompensating. The intellectual men who also have the emotional awareness will lean into this and love it.
Yeah.
This is that filtering. We talked about that a moment ago.
Okay.
This is how you begin filtering it. You must do this process even as it's deeply unsettling to you. It will feel better as you go through it. This is going to click chemistry in a way you've never experienced before.
Is this yeah, I would imagine maybe do men crave safety like women do?
No, not the same way. Let me give you the ultimate male hack. And then you, Adam, tell me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
I'm ready to fight you on this one.
Let's play the game. Let's play the game.
I'm ready to fight you on this one. There's a lot of stuff that
I don't want to fight anyone. So over here, I'm good.
Okay, I'll take it. So I got him. Have you ever heard about male self-accountability?
That just sounds like a human dynamic. Male, it should be women and men, right?
No. For a man,
I've never heard of this specific.
yes. So men are
title.
actually supposed to be accountable to themselves. Let me make it simple. Do you know how men hate to be wrong?
Yeah.
That's the outer manifestation of that.
Okay.
We have a standard to which we hold ourselves accountable. That's
Okay.
how men grow. This is actually how they develop, right? That's why they go to the gym and they hit personal records. That's why they achieve. That's the actual mechanism behind it. And what they have is that in their head, they have a picture of themselves as they should be in their perfect state. And they always compare. They always compare and they self-correct. When a man gets angry, he compares himself to the one he should be and changes his behavior before it comes out. When a man is in a stressful situation, a captain of a ship or, in battle or whatever, those very extreme cases, he checks himself back, and that's his stopgap mechanism that prevents him from being something he shouldn't be, right? From going off the deep end. A lot of guys don't really understand how this works because they have a very shifting perspective. I want to be this today. When I get angry, I want to be this. When I'm horny, I want to be this. When I'm, whatever, I want to be this. When you go and you help him understand what he is committing to, and he's starting to build the chain of events in his mind saying, I want to be a good husband. You're painting that at him.
Yeah.
Better yet, he's now looking at you. And if there's chemistry, he's taking that empty hole in his head.
Filling me in.
Exactly.
He's building a picture. And
Yes.
he's building a life path with me on it because I'm already asking those questions.
Date
right?
one.
And so now I'm part of a new blueprint.
And the time that you go and you finally ask him for some help, and he looks at you and he's busy or irritated or whatever, he doesn't see you. He sees that version of you who's been building, and he's responding to that from his best self to your projected self. And if that mechanism is firing properly, he will stop whatever's going on in his head. Because guess what? They probably have some bad attachment patterns too. And the only reason that will interrupt them if they feel that you deserve better. And that's how you build it, by painting that picture for him. I can't invent that. Don't invite me to paint your picture for you. I have no idea who you are. If you can, do that for me and portray yourself. Because, when they put on makeup, when they dress up, why? Because you're showing us who you are. Psychologically, you can give me that picture and I'll believe it. And then I'll do something for it. And then the vasopressin kicks in. And that's something that will change any type of pattern.
Because the vasopressin situation is like sort of setting a goal and achieving it for them. It's sort of like meeting.
No,
right?
setting a
Ish?
goal
No.
and achieving it for them.
No. Them doing it. Like it's setting a goal and then them achieving it. It's like sort of like a teamwork sort of.
As team, yes.
It's a teamwork mechanism.
It has to click on when you say, and your brain says, we did this. It
Right.
can't be you were nearby while I did it.
Right.
We did this. There has
Right.
to be a full acknowledgement that that's
Right.
there. This is why the most arrogant men on the planet have like the most devoted wife on the planet. But his whole thing is, I built my life and you were just here. And she supported him the entire time. He has to have a recognition that it was actually teamwork.
Okay. Yeah.
There
Okay.
you go. So if you can do that, you're building in him the ability to self-correct, right?
Yeah.
He wants to vasopressin bond with you because you make him better, right? You can be the only one who can get him to his fullest potential as a man. That's what a man wants. Yes, we care about legacy. Yes, we care about children. Yes, we care about our relationship. Ultimately, what every man really wants is to be his best possible self. If you're religious, how God made me to be my best possible self to my family, to my friends, to myself. And I want to be in that zone or close to it as much as possible, right? Locked in. And if you can be the one who guides him there, he will do anything for you. Anything. Checks out?
So what you're describing is level 4 of what a woman provides to a man.
Aha. Do you know there's 4 things you provide to a man?
I hope so.
Okay, let's find out.
Most women provide the first 3 without even knowing it, and they're just pushing on it, and then they stop at level 3 and never provide level 4, and that's what creates any friction from being removed in the relationship. You actually need to create friction at level 4 on purpose for that man to achieve the effect he's talking about.
Got it.
You're talking about archetypes. A man has an archetype I want to become, and I can't become it myself. And most women erase themselves from the relationship and go invisible to try to just facilitate him constantly. And that might be what you're doing, which is fascinating because in the world, you're this pop culture icon. People are like, whoa, it's her, right? And then in the relationship, you erase yourself to try to just buffer him up. That's what's happening.
And the normal reaction is, where did you go? Where did you go, right? I want you here, not in your head. I don't care about everything else. I can do the rest myself, right? At the end of the day, a guy doesn't have to be rich to provide for himself in the current world. Like I'm sure that the wealth difference isn't that substantial from the perspective of, can he provide his own clothes, his own food, his own shelter, and his own transportation, right? Can he, have like a little bit of money for fun? Yes, that's it. He doesn't need anything else. So if he can turn to you and you're giving him that purpose, the purpose of being, as somebody said here, a man will crawl over broken glass because that's the only thing he really wants. And he will be deeply saddened by you disappearing into servitude. Once you're gone, what do we do?
This is a tricky dynamic to inspire and not then make them feel like they're not enough, though. Because I think this is something that's probably showed up for me where it's like maybe there's some unspoken things there, right? And then there's frustrations that come out later about dynamics that haven't been fully sort of like cleared and spoken about. And then it's like, it's sort of but I'm here, right? Well, that's not enough, right?
What you just said is the reason that every woman gets trapped. It's tricky to inspire this dynamic. Every woman on the planet, women change for relationships. A woman gets into a relationship, she changes and adapts. It's everything we've talked about today. You've changed and adapted yourself completely in every relationship to try to contort and match him. Women change for relationships, men don't. Men change for consequences and pain and challenges.
That's right.
You don't get in a relationship with a man and try to inspire him to become masculine and become a CEO. You don't hire a man who's never been a CEO and doesn't want to be and then try to inspire him to become a CEO for the company. You don't hire the guy who fetches your slippers and your coffee and then say, I'm going to turn you into a CEO. You don't do that. You hire a man who wants to be a CEO and has trained for it, and he's already inspired and motivated, and then you invite him to join you as a co-founder. You invite a man who's motivated and then join him on it. Something else that's twisted is women should not commit to a man.
Say more.
Women should commit to a vision that a man presents and then devote herself to him to achieve that vision together.
That kind of almost sounds like you were saying
That's
too,
exactly
though. You
it.
present the situation, they build the model, they're building the picture, they put the life in progress, and it's like in motion. But it's sort of like they've seen it, but you've inspired them to put you in the movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
You don't join a company for the CEO. You join a company for the vision of what the company is building and creating.
Right.
And you respect and trust the CEO, but you're committing to the larger vision. That's the problem. You're committing to a dude who you don't know if he's a CEO or not. You've plucked him off the street. He's hot. He's intellectual, right? He seems trustworthy. You sign a contract and say, let's start a company together. I don't even know what we'll do. Are you good at being a CEO? And he goes, we'll talk about that 5 years from now.
Sure.
Right?
Sure I am.
And then this is not to embarrass. This is how most women are dating.
Yeah.
Most women are saying, I will find a guy. I will train and mother him myself. I will turn him into a man. I will teach him to be a CEO. He will somehow create a vision for what we're going to do. And 10 years from now, somehow we'll be at a good place that I like to be. And I don't know where it'll be, but he'll figure it out. And then as you go, you create so little friction for him that he just gets fat and lazy in the corner. He feels bad and hates himself if he's a decent man. Or if he's not, he feels pretty fat and content and then starts getting uncomfortable
And
that
then
you
he
have
hates
money.
you.
Then he hates
because
you.
you're not providing enough.
Resentment
right?
sets in. And
Yeah.
And you burn out inevitably every time.
Yeah.
This is the problem. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
There's a
yeah.
number one flag we look for in relationships that need some help. That's when the woman believes that a male discomfort is a bad thing. He'll be uncomfortable. He will be insecure. I'll trigger him. Good. Fantastic. That's exactly your job. Your job is to point out his insecurities, his flaws, his insufficiencies. Not criticize. Never criticize. Not attack, but to take distance. Hey, I saw you here, and you did not act in accordance to the vision you sold me. I'm going to take a step back, right? A material breach clause comes with a period of time during which you can actually fix the relationship, right? And you say, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to let you try that again. And you can stay uncomfortable, and you can be angry at yourself and hate yourself and go to the gym and work it out, but I'm not going to come forward until you're living the dream you sold me. The dream you told me you want. That is the accountability to him and his own vision for himself, right? So you can Sometimes he will forget his self-accountability. It will fall away. We're not perfect. But the sooner you can get him to the point where he's solving his own shit,
Yeah.
the better.
Right.
Because that's the man you want.
Right.
Don't
right.
let him be disgusting and pathetic.
Right. Well, in life, there's so much of it that it's an inside job, and that's where
Yep.
we build our self-worth and confidence is that we solve problems and we are more of ourself.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Let me ask you this right now. Rate yourself 1 to 10 as far as what kind of partner you are in relationships. What kind of partner do you perceive? 1 to 10, 1 being I am the worst scum of the earth. I fail at everything and I'm always awful. 10 being, you know what, Adam, I do everything perfectly. Everything. Where would you put yourself on that scale right now?
Honestly, I feel like I'd be like an 8 or a 9. I feel like
Nice.
I provide a lot. I offer a lot. I'm very understanding, very rational. I don't fly off the handlebars unless you wake me up at night and I'm very disoriented and I'm very angry in those moments. But that's a known situation.
Okay.
Other than that, I feel like I'm pretty good. I require a decent amount of attention.
Mhm.
I require like a lot of communication about what's going on because I'm super sensitive to energy. So if someone's off, I need to know that it's not about me.
Mhm.
And if it isn't, then good. You need to go do you.
Okay.
I don't mind whatever you need. Just want to make sure that there isn't an issue here because when the frequency and the energy gets off, I'm very sensitive to that. So, I feel like outside of feeling like I need like a good energy, sort of like an honest communication and attention, I definitely need that.
Okay.
I feel like it's just fun and easygoing and
Okay. Let me ask you this. You're a very accomplished entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Have you had COOs working under you? Chief Operations?
in my businesses.
And any of them, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take any of them. Let's build a hypothetical COO for you. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's pretend we have a COO who walks in, right? Who is committed not to the vision of the company,
Mhm.
but is just taking it day by day, seeing where things are going to go.
Mhm.
Let's pretend that COO tends to erase themselves completely from most equations to try to please everybody else
Mhm.
in the organization. They also tend to take on everybody else's job and do everybody's job. And that sounds, at first, you're like, yeah, I lucked out. I got a great employee, right? But you start seeing them burn out.
Mhm.
And they don't talk about being burned out.
Yeah.
They just naturally
Yeah.
start burning themselves out
Yeah.
all the time. They are always burned out and they don't say anything about it, right? They tend to take on tasks without even telling you about it. They cover everything.
Mhm. Mhm.
You walk in, you're the CEO, you walk in and they've done everything, but you didn't get much input on anything
Mhm.
because they didn't want to come and bother you. They actually are so focused on reducing your friction that they've actually eliminated you from most of the decisions you maybe wanted to make.
Mhm.
And they're confused. You're confused. Like, what's happening? What's going on?
Mhm.
Making sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. They also never really come back to you and ask for much of a vision. Not because they're arrogant, but
Sure.
because they don't want to bother you by asking for vision.
Mhm.
They don't ask you for much of the culture of the company either. They just sort of assume and they do a lot of assuming and a lot of guessing.
Mhm.
Okay? The system is running, but everyone else in the system is burned out and confused and has no idea what's happening at the top.
Mhm.
How would you rate that COO's job performance as the CEO looking at them?
Mm. Yeah, I would think that they have a lot of work ethic in them, but probably need to work on communication
Okay.
and clarity and
Okay.
job description.
Okay, let's take it a step further. You know as a CEO that you're not doing perfect. And you want them to bring you challenges. You want them to bring problems. You want them to flag challenges to you. Otherwise, things will fall off and burn and get destroyed. They never, ever do that. They don't bring you problems. They don't bring you concerns. They don't hold you accountable. They don't ask those probing questions.
I probably start to get suspicious, and I wonder what they were really up to, and I wonder why they wouldn't want to communicate.
Give me a number 1 to 10. Rate that COO's job performance.
It'd be like a 5, maybe.
Okay.
They're getting shit done, but they're not,
Okay.
maybe the best.
But they're a liability.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because when they're going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
When will they explode and destroy your company? Because now your company's built around them and you don't know what's happening. It's a black box.
Mm-hmm.
So you rated yourself as an 8 or 9 partner, but you rate this person in a relationship as a 5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the distance there? What's happening?
I think it's just being upfront, communication, clarity.
Where is the difference happening? Because inside,
Date 1, 2, 3.
you're rating yourself very high, but you're rating yourself as a COO, as a partner, as a wife, very low. As a girlfriend, you're high. On the first date, you're at 9 out of 10, but over time, you rate yourself 5 out of 10 actually in the relationship. Tell me if this is what's happening. You think this is what people want from you, so you're doing it.
Sure, yeah.
You are rating yourself 9 out of 10 on what you think men want from you.
Right.
You are trying to please avoidant men who can't build a relationship. And you're trying to build a long-term business with someone who doesn't want a long-term business. Is that making sense?
Sure.
Yeah, it's the wrong target. It's the wrong target, and you don't know what they want from you. You're starting to learn what they want from you, and you're starting to learn how to signal correctly. In romance, act like a COO who's looking for a vision to commit to. Interview the CEO, interview the company, interview what you're doing, learn the systems, ask them a billion questions. Did you know you're supposed to ask them friction questions that make them uncomfortable? Did you know that? That's what he's saying. I love when people ask me questions that make me uncomfortable because then I get to figure it out and think about it and answer.
Same actually.
Right. Yeah. See?
I like hard questions.
You
when I
love
do
this.
interviews and they're like, anything you don't want me to ask? You said that. And I'm like, no. Anything you don't, no, just ask me.
Embrace what you love.
That's how I figure things out.
You are dating in a way that you hate, right?
Oh, man.
You hate it.
Oh, man.
You're dating and romancing in a way that you hate.
It's too easy.
Embrace
Boring.
what you love.
The boring part.
Maybe.
See?
Maybe they get bored.
You're missing the
Yes.
adventure of it because you're erasing yourself.
Oh.
He's missing the adventure of it because a good man doesn't want you to erase yourself. Like he said, you turn into a void. You're just like this shadow in the corner and he's alone by himself. And this is good men. Insecure, unhealthy men, right, who are more manipulative, they'll love that for the first 6 months.
It's an opportunity, right? It's fun.
Then it dies.
Let me ask you this. If you're with a man, perfect man, in every single regard, how would you like him to love you?
Do you have a concept?
I would want to feel like the most important person in the world to him.
Okay. And what does he do to do that?
Prioritize.
So walk me through a perfect day.
Prioritize would be care about my feelings, ask me what I'm doing, check in. Is there anything I can do? Also, you need to respect them, so they need their own things going on too, so that you can respect them as human beings and for what they are, and they can respect themselves, right? So that keeps the self-worth up. And you want to be proud. Like, it's always important to have someone that is making something of themselves. That's an attractive quality for both sides. I think that's something that's said in relationships often is like seeing somebody in their element is like the most attractive way that you can see them. They kind of glow and they're confident and have
Sure, but
good
now
energy.
we shifted. If this was this person, what do we do for you? You just said one thing that is supposed to be, paying attention to you, and then we shifted towards more back to their focus. What exact things or actions would you like them to do for you so that you feel exactly how you want it to?
You erased yourself right there.
Right? So it's called a receiving love. How are you supposed to receive love is just as important as how you're supposed to give love.
Right. I mean, if we go even like baseline 5 love languages, which I think matter, I do feel like they matter on
framework,
some.
sure.
Yeah. Physical touch is for sure the first one, and quality time. So that would be like the attention. I like someone to make time for me, show me attention, physical touch. So to make me feel like the most important person, make me feel irreplaceable, make me feel like I'm the cutest thing in the world and the smartest and the funniest and just make me feel special.
Bonding safety. Level
Yeah.
4. Level 4 of safety is
Yeah.
bonding safety.
Yeah. Because there's so much that and I'm not trying to erase myself, there's so much I don't really need on some level.
Yeah.
But like if there were to be a baseline thing that it's like, just make me feel like I am the only one. That's it. Like the most important person. Like make me feel like safe, like you're not going anywhere, and like you adore me.
That
Adore
is
me.
Level 4 bonding safety. That is only possible when he's capable of level 3 emotional safety. You're picking men who are not capable of level 3 emotional safety, so they can never go to level 4 and sustain it. They can fake level 4 for a while, but never really give it to you. They're missing level 3, and they misunderstand level 2, the resource safety. They're not the I got this, I'm going to take care of you kind of man, right? He doesn't have to have more money than you. When chips come down, he needs to get up off his butt and go take care of business. When
Right.
bad things happen, he needs to be
Right.
the first one at the door, making sure that you're covered and that you're taken care of.
Right.
He knows the guy, he knows the person, he knows the connection. He's here to take care of you in times when you need him most.
Right.
That's what he should be doing.
Yeah.
Level 2, missing. Level 3, missing. You're hoping for level 4 from men who can never give it.
I'm going to give you an unpopular opinion. Most men, even good and very competent men, have no idea how to give you what you are asking for because we have no idea how to build it. And I'll speak for myself. We were never taught. We were never taught how to adore a woman. Unfortunately, that part of the culture is gone. The
There's so much
chivalry
about
is
school
gone.
that they don't teach you, and so much that
Yeah,
they
no
don't
kidding,
need
right?
to.
Right? It's like, yeah, I can know how to do my taxes. Thank you.
Right,
You know?
right. So glad I know geometry.
For sure.
That really
Right.
helped.
Yeah. You're going to be picking up not perfect men, most likely, because there's very few perfect people. in the
Right. When
world.
you
There
said
are
perfect,
some.
I was like, there isn't
Yeah,
one.
it's not really anybody like that. And there's going to be have to be a period where you have to teach them how to love you. So not only do you need to know exactly
Right.
what you want,
Right.
but then there has to be a teaching and expressing
yeah,
component
sure.
and a patience while they go and muck it up. Right? When they
Yeah.
go and muck it up and they just don't know how to love you the same way. This is actually a kind of an ongoing, thing we're working on with my wife. She goes, I want you to adore me. And I go, how? And she's just like, come on. I'm like,
It's a feeling
Just-
that comes through you. If you feel like you adore me, I'll know you adore me.
right? And I'm just like, I want an instruction sheet. What do you need? And she's just like, and there it goes again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to work on this. So it's actually something I need to talk to Adam as well.
I was going to say, I got you.
We have an episode coming up about that, actually.
I love this. How
Oh,
to
good.
how to
Yeah, this
adore
is an oxytocin trap, is what this is. Women want a man who has high oxytocin, which is that love hormone. I am yours, you are mine, we are together. And when it's high, he is compulsively affectionate, and he will then seek those things out and know what to do,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
But what's missing is she hasn't taught him how she needs to feel loved. The man should be teaching the woman, this is what love is for me. And the woman should teach the man, this is what love is for me. We need to get together and have those open, frank conversations while building oxytocin. And as his oxytocin goes up, he becomes compulsively affectionate toward her and wants to do the things. It's
Yeah.
not doing the things for her, it's wanting to do the things.
Yeah.
Avoidant men and most men today have low oxytocin. They're not compulsively affectionate, and they have low understanding of women. And most women are petrified to put friction on men and say, these are the 5 ways I need to be loved, and this is how often, and what can we do? Men have no idea, and they don't have
Yeah.
the chemistry yet to do it. So you have to
Yeah.
inform and then build oxytocin together, and that's where you get the man you're
Yeah.
looking for. He should be doing the same, and he should be leading this charge.
I feel like there's the big thing that's standing out to me is like help build a vision, right? Like that's
Yeah.
really what it's about is like, yes, you're doing the whole, are we on the same page? But provided you are, then it's about building the vision. What is it that you actually want to put in your life? What does it look like? What are what are your goals? Like, how are we going to do this? This is it's essentially the way that I feel like I've accomplished anything in my life is that I dream of it. Like I visualize what I want. I know what I want. I see the final product. I see the end point. I see the goal accomplished. And then my life backs in, like I back into that, right? From the beginning. So, and I think that's actually how everything is created. If you think about it, like this table was made from an idea,
Intentional design.
right? Everything is made from an idea. And so if you sort of plant those seeds and you have those conversations, then essentially you're building the future model that's inevitable to come to fruition because it's been built and it's been visualized. And if we're talking about past, present, and future existing simultaneously, then essentially we just have to wait on Earth time for that thing to come true. But that model's built.
Yes.
It's already realized on some level somewhere.
And it's more of a tuning into that frequency. But I can tell you that men are incapable of generating love. We don't have that. Love
Wait a minute.
is-
I'm out. I'm
No,
out. Tap
no,
out. What?
No, I'm going to tell you that. They're incapable of generating love. From the perspective, if you want to talk about energy perspective,
Okay.
here's what this means. That feeling that a woman has, this is what makes women attractive to men. You have something so special inside you that is the life-giving, that is the actual connection to the universe,
Creation.
right? To God, creation. That is the definition of love. God is love, right? As they say, it's literally written specifically as that. That's the light that men crave and want. We have to choose to go through difficulty in order to obtain it. We will never do it for ourselves. I have no reason to go this
is
far.
why wars happen. This is why
Boom.
all these things. It's usually for a woman or for women or to
Yes.
be the man that women want
purpose.
or for purpose.
Yes.
Exactly. And we are
Serotonin.
this is so cool because I've honestly thought so much about how there's this mess of an idea of patriarchy, matriarchy. It's not. It's really about men and women honoring and valuing and collaborating in the ways that they are the most skillful, right?
Yes.
And what their gifts are. And when you put them together, two is more. Then two becomes one, but one is more than one is in multiples. Like
Yes.
you become something completely new.
So for you, what you want to see in a man, if we break it down to its absolute core, is prove to me that love is the most important thing to you. Right? Prove to me that you understand the value of love. Love for me, love for our children, love for others. That's the only thing I care about as a woman. And for a man, guess what? It isn't that. It is not that. It's something different. Right? We look at a woman and say, prove to me that you will never give up that gift that you had, that gift in you that is love and life for anything. And when you go and give it up for me, I feel disgusted with myself. I am not
Embrace
worthy.
yourself.
If you give it up for anybody else, either I want to hurt that person, frankly, right? And you're like, I hate
Yeah.
you for taking that away.
Yeah.
Or I kind of, lose respect for you as a woman. I go, how could you? You had this one beautiful thing that
Yeah.
is truly a gift from God. There's a gift of life and love and everything else, and you don't respect it. So we respect women who will never give that up, not even for us. That we are actually having to, in a way, prove ourselves,
Hold the vision.
right?
Yeah.
And then we will build it for you. But you can't play into our shit. You cannot fall for our games. We will test you. Do you understand?
Because you'll try and get away with
Do
it.
you
'cause it's
understand?
easier.
Yeah. Do you notice how much men will test a woman? Every single day we test women.
I always feel like you hear it the other way a lot of times.
No, men test women all the time.
Yeah.
They just play the distraction game so you don't talk about it, right? That's why is we're also testing
Wow.
subconsciously.
What?
Will you buy your shit? Will you let us fall into self-pity? Will you let us be careless? Will you let us be quick? Right? Will you let us be just, mediocre? Answer better be no. That's a real test because that's how you know. That's how we know that you love us. That's how you know that you love us as well. Don't fall for the shit.
You keep qualifying. It's almost like you keep qualifying. You keep passing the test. You keep,
It's a game.
yeah.
What else is there?
Yeah.
Right? It's not about the money. You got the money. Do you care?
Yeah.
You got a fast car. I'm sure you enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you want the game. You want that always winning together feeling. And that's, in essence, what secure attachment is. We talk a lot about secure attachment now overlapping with religion and faith. Ultimately leads back to faith, which is the belief there's nothing else. There's only one thing, and this is it. And we have found it together, and we can build it
Yeah.
together.
So the woman inspires the vision
Boom.
and the man helps accomplish it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Checks out.
Wow.
Dashman guy.
I feel like you haven't told me the third date yet.
Yeah, that's right.
I think
we
you've
haven't.
done
We
two.
We
sidetracked
haven't,
there.
and that's correct. The third date is attachment chemistry, and it weaves all of this together. But you have to be real with each other about what your limitations and challenges are. It's the hardest thing, and people look at me like I'm a lunatic when I tell them this, and you probably will too. You walk in and say, "Look, we've talked about commitment. It sounds like we're both on the same page, and hey, I gotta say, I like you. I think this is a good fit so far. It's fun. Let's get real. Let's talk about what it's actually like to be in a relationship with each one of us. I'm going to tell you where my challenges are. I'm going to tell you where I screw things up, and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing about it and how I'm fixing it. I'm going to give
This
you.
is advanced for most people to
This
even
is
know
so
these
far.
things.
This is like
To even know this is hard.
Year 15 in front of a divorce attorney. You're going
Right,
to have this
right,
conversation
right.
for most people, right? And that's why they're doing it that way. No, you walk in and say, "Look, here's something that I'm dealing with." Right? Hey, you know what? In the past, I tend to overperform in relationships. I do that. I tend to make things way too easy on people, and I just take the lead way too much. So I'm learning to step back and breathe. I'm learning to find a man who has a vision and builds toward it. I'm also learning not to overperform. So you're going to see me doing that at times. And if I ever do, call me on it immediately. Tell me that I'm overperforming. Tell me that I need to step back, and I 100% will. Just be aware that that's where I could go. Sometimes I also freeze, by the way. If you ever see me go this, then, hey, that's a problem. I probably have questions I'm guessing, and I don't know how to ask you a question. Tell me to ask you a question in that moment. Those are my two things. Any questions about that? And what are you working on? Where are you not the best in relationships yet? Right? We do this in interviews.
Yeah.
Where are you weak? Where
Yeah,
do
you do this
where
in
do you
every.
not
Where are
know
your
how to grow?
strengths? What are your weaknesses?
Right. And if they can't list a weakness,
Yeah.
get out of there.
Right.
If they have 50,000
Right.
weaknesses, get out of there. If they're not doing anything about it and they just say, "This is your problem now," get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
A good man knows his weaknesses, is already working on it, will reveal that to you, and then will talk to you about the plan he has to become better. And he'll say, hold me accountable. And now you have permission to hold him accountable. In the future, you say, remember that the thing we talked about? I think I see you doing that. Is that what's going on right now?
Yeah.
And you challenge him on those red flags for the next 6 months. Every time you see him pop up, you challenge him gently and say, I'm seeing this. You told me about that. What's going on? And he's supposed to go, you're right. Thank you for the heads up. I'm going to go get that taken care of right now. And he fixes it.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's the right man for you.
Yeah.
Is all that making sense?
Yeah.
Date number 3, attachment chemistry.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be perfect. He has to be about 70 to 80% of the way there so he can have the conversations and makes you feel safe. This is how you understand if he's equal at that the emotional safety level. Is he aware of his challenges? Does he invite you into solving them? But is he already working on them himself? And then when you challenge him later at month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, does he respond appropriately in those moments and make you feel safer and continue to change and grow? This is also, you told me at the beginning, how you stop yourself from outgrowing men because he is already growing with you. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Date number 3.
Yeah.
Most women are afraid to do this. They're afraid that they're going to come off bad and that he'll never want to be with you again. No, this makes you very attractive.
Right.
Very attractive.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Because you're making purpose. You're creating purpose for them.
It's so fun.
And that's what you want.
That's like the best challenge ever, right? Imagine if you're just, out there and you're just, trying to find somebody. You don't know what you're looking for as a man.
Right.
You don't
Well,
have
how
a vision,
unfulfilling for the other side on some level too, if you don't even know what the target is.
right?
Right.
But we don't.
Like I don't even know what the target is. Like, am I doing well? I'm here, right? That's all I've been given as instruction. I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
I'm here.
You're sitting at your desk as the COO going, what do I do? And
Now
you're
what?
waiting.
Yep.
And then you take over the whole company. And then he sits at his desk and goes, why am I here?
Yes.
Define your roles, keep your roles.
Okay.
You'll have a lot more fun this way. It's going to be uncomfortable, right? Because it's one thing kind of understanding and seeing the pattern, but the pattern will play out the way it does because there is an algorithm behind it, and the algorithm did get coded a long time ago. And you were riding that train for years and years and years. Like, if you think back to your childhood, you may or may not remember, but can you recall the first moment or the first time that you went and you fixed something yourself and you just went, ooh, I like this?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. I feel like I did something on my go-kart one time that's like sticking out of my head. I'm like, oh my God, I figured it out.
Nice.
Like you feel very empowered. And you're like, oh, all right.
All right, I got this.
Yeah.
And then you did this maybe like at home, then you did that at school, and you build a passion for it, right? You're like, I can figure this out. You're going to have to turn that off. That engine is going to have to come off, and you're going to have to let the man drive. I'm sure you love that, right?
Well, and here's the thing.
Best part about it is I can't get a ticket.
See?
There you go.
but here's the thing is even that analogy turns her into a passive creature. You're not a passive creature.
No.
You're not turning off the masculine to just sit there and stare at the wall. You're turning off the masculine to become more fully yourself.
Yeah.
Your relationships should allow you to be more fully yourself because someone else is taking care of the work that you don't want to do today.
Right.
That makes sense?
Right.
You're not a passive creature and you're not erasing yourself ever again.
Amen.
Agreement?
Agreed.
Got it. Don't ever erase
Witnessed.
yourself again. Do a different job.
Yes. And if you can turn those patterns off, there's no such thing as a void in nature. Something will fill that void. You now have the opportunity to choose how to respond, right? But also jumping in and, doing it for them, it's like raising children, right? I have a daughter. I remember when she was small and she was failing. I had to let her fail, even though I could do it so much faster. And now she tells me, don't help, Dad. I don't need your help. I don't want your help. I want to do this myself. I go, I love it. That's fantastic. But it didn't start like that, right? You had to let them fail.
Yeah.
Men are kind of like kids. They really are in that regard. They really don't change. We're pretty linear creatures in that regard, biologically, neurologically, in every way. Everyly, psychologically. Good. You now actually understand how we work. So use it to help us build the thing that you really want us to do.
Okay. I like that. I feel like I feel some clarity.
This was a lot. We're going to have
It's
to
a
get
lot.
through it.
I'm not sure I'm going
It's
to
a
get
lot.
everything 100% right, but
You don't
I
have to.
understand the whole build the vision, create the purpose, cut to the chase playfully.
You don't have to get everything right because the right man is going to fill in those gaps with you. He's going to see you making the efforts. It will signal interest to him. He will step in and he will be doing a lot of this too. This is not a solo experience. You're not out here trying to do everything perfect for some dude who's just sitting there twiddling his thumbs, waiting for you to do the job. He should actually be leading this process. You should be responding in this process. That's how the game should work.
And
Double experience.
And it'll be way more fun because you're then going to
yeah.
be unlocking both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
And that's going to be something new.
Yeah.
If you're talking about chasing a thrill, now that's a thrill you've never had.
Yeah.
But you can.
Right.
And you can spend the next whatever years you have just riding that every single time, optimizing that experience, really having that beautiful moment. And you can have them everywhere. You can have it at a grocery store. You can have it on a walk. You can have it in the middle of the night when you wake up and you feel comfortable. And all of that is there and available. It just takes a little work up front. But man, is that work worth it? It's more of just a belief that it can happen, you know?
Sure. That's where it all starts.
Let's do it.
If you believe it enough, it will for sure happen.
There you go.
It's the story of my life.
So in that case, I guess we'll have to get you back for episode 2 in a couple of months to see how that goes.
Update.
Yes.
Adam, I'm engaged, right? Like, send me a wedding
Maybe.
invitation a year from now. It'll happen.
If I am, I will for sure invite both of you.
Thank you.
100%.
I'll be there.
That should be fun. Danica, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming on.
thank
This
you.
was awesome. I mean,
I'm gonna go cry in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I love this.
Tissues.
It was so informative for myself, but hopefully, and this is what happens when, I watch stories or I watch you tell stories or watch other people tell stories. It's like you find yourself in them, right? And so hopefully people watch and they find themselves in the story, and they're like, oh, right, it inspires and the seed is planted, and they know a next step, right? And you come at it from such a new sort of thorough perspective that is calls to action and ways of doing things different, instead of just ideas, right? Which is good.
Absolutely.
It's not that hard. It's just scary at the start. But I mean, you race cars, so what
Yeah.
am I supposed to tell you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm jumping the deep end. So
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. It
Thank
was such
you.
a pleasure. This was a great conversation. I love seeing Adam do his work, and I just love to see people who are actually interested in doing the work themselves. So
just when I thought I was only anxious, damn it.
that's okay. That's more the fun one anyways. Now you get to see both sides.
You're just deluxe.
Yes.
Deluxe.
Hey, there you go.
Love that.
We need to coin that term.
There you go.
Danica, where do we find you and learn more?
Oh, and my name anywhere, whether it's Instagram or, any platform. That's the one I do the most, but Danica
say.
Patrick.
Open a People
Yeah.
magazine, a Time
Yeah,
magazine,
literally
open
everywhere,
any
actually.
magazine anywhere.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Adam, where do we find you?
I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. Me and my team, including this guy, on adamlanesmith.com, working on attachment, helping people resolve those issues, and working on the frameworks that make you make sense of your life.
That's amazing. Well, thank you guys for coming on. And everybody, please subscribe, like, and share. Give us your questions, especially if you've had any experiences similar to Danica. And if you have questions for Adam, especially put them below. And we'll see you all in the next one. Take care.